Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with episode 1 of the Respawn podcast. Cue hand clapping.
Welcome. Wait, restart, boss,
No, wait,
restart.
why would I restart? You gotta let me finish, bro. I said cue hand clapping, and then you're gonna be like, you gotta work with me here, brother. Don't cut me off. See where I'm going. By the way, this is gonna look great for our blooper reel. This is really good. This is really good. Okay.
Take 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. What do they do in there? Meh. Woo, woo, woo. Also, video ninja, bro. No, man, I change the lights.
It's fine. It's the way it should be. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, ready? Okay. Ready. And 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of the Respawn podcast. Cue the hand clapping, please. For those of you who don't know, my name is Bash, and this dude next to me is
This is Lou, guys. This is Lou.
Lou. Lou, what's that short for?
Lewandowski.
Lewandowski. We'll take it. Well, I'll tell you one thing. This podcast is going to be lit as Lewandowski's goal scoring, so that's great. So
Pretty much it.
So
No, I'm just joking, guys. It is Lou, short for Llewellyn.
That's it.
For those who don't know, it's Bash. That is short for.
It's actually like short for one of 2 variants. Number 1 is Prabhashan. That was my born Indian name. Yeah, we'll give that one. And then the other one is just Bashan. So they dropped the prefix, and then people I met in my life, they were like, dude, Bash is so much easier. Let's just go for that. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting named many times. So yeah, that's it. That's where it's at. So to kick it off, our socials are on your screen right now. So please feel free to follow us. The Respawn podcast socials are there as well. We are on all the platforms, including actual podcast platforms as well. It is called The Podcast. But to kick it off, a little bit about ourselves. Listen, you guys are going to learn a lot about us over all the episodes, over all the weeks, okay? We plan to do something different, hopefully. I know that there's a lot of content out there, but hopefully we're going to be able to add a different form of spice. You see, Lou, that was a bit of a pun there because I'm Indian. See, Indian.
It's too soon. It's too soon.
Oh, is it too soon? Okay. We'll bring it back. Let's run it back.
That's Bashan, not Bosh.
That's so true. So yeah, for those of you who are tuning in and don't know us, like I said, my name is Bash. I am a finance professional. I've had many years in the finance field. Most recently, I've become involved in systems of a finance nature, obviously. Recently started my own accounting firm, and now I'm moving into software development, right? I am a huge fan of gaming, sports, music, play guitar, play tennis, love food, sometimes a bit too much. I really got to work on that. And then, everything nerd, superheroes, all that kind of stuff. Most importantly, I love to yap my jaws, meaning I talk too much. So if that does happen on this podcast, don't worry. Lou is here to sort me out and make sure that that doesn't happen too often, like what is happening now. So Lou,
Yeah. Just to put it out there, I think by sorting it out, he means by joining him, because that is the one thing we've got in common, mate. You yap, I yap, we all yap, and 4 hours later we're still yapping. But like Bash mentioned, hopefully we yet to do something that's a bit different, something that the content is a bit different and brings a different perspective to what you guys are used to. But that being said, we are going to get into that. My name's Lou. It's actually short for Llewellyn, not Lewandowski. But Lewandowski's a cool guy.
I like
against him.
That's cool.
Bosh, you made that a bit difficult to compete against, man. There's quite a few recognitions and records and awards and titles there. I'm like, all right, well, I'm recently from unemployed to self-employed,
Let's
and
go, boy.
before that, I was employed. So I like to think I've gone full circle. But
Nice.
yeah, my name is Lou. I've just recently launched my own business. It's actually in graphic design. It's got one hell of a lot more coming for it. I'm actually not even going to mention the name of the business right now because this is about Respawn.
Let's get
So
it.
you guys will hear more about me and my business and the journey I've been on and the journey that Bash has been on as we go about. But for now, it's all about Respawn. And yeah, like I mentioned to us, it's a funny story actually. We're busy talking about, guys, what are we going to tell these people when we start our podcast? What are our hobbies? I'm thinking, I don't have hobbies, guys. I game, but not to the point where I can say it's died down. I think once you go through these cycles that I mentioned of employed to unemployed to self-employed, the gaming gets lost in between. I don't know if it's supposed to pick up. I don't know if it's supposed to stop completely. I don't know if it's just supposed to be there to help you take the edge off. I don't know. Figuring it out. But other hobbies, well, listen, I've been going to gym for the past couple of years. It doesn't look like it, but it is something that I do on and off regularly. Reading's pretty cool as well. I love the way that it stimulates the brain. I do enjoy learning from it as well. Um, Apart from that, you know, man, I like people. People are cool, which is a bit of a weird thing because my social battery can be very, very finicky. But I always see it as a bit of a challenge to try and get that social battery to last a bit longer. And that being said, you know, it is what it is. The social battery helps me get through situations. It also saves me from situations as well. When you just get that feeling in your tummy not to go out, and
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
absolutely do not regret staying at home. That's cool. That's my social battery keeping a fella safe. But Bash, from what I understand, your social battery is just like unlimited, or at least that's the perception you've given people.
No, not even close, bro. Not even close. I think over episodes people understand the kind of purpose of my social battery. It's got a specific function, specific service, kind of thing. But I think we'll get into that, over the episodes when we're discussing,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
our things.
definitely.
But I think let's thanks for that intro. That was good. If you guys at this point, any comments, any whatever it is, please put them in there. Like, subscribe, share, whatever else. It's so weird I always hear content creators saying that, but now we're the content creators saying that. So do us a favor, like, subscribe, share, because I
Yeah,
promise you, I can't guarantee the level of entertainment, but I can guarantee that you will always be captivated. All right, that is always what's going to happen on Respawn. And I mean, now that we're talking about the Respawn podcast, I think Lou mentioned it earlier that we both like to yap our jaws, And along the way, we decided, you know what, everyone's like really getting tired of hearing us. Let's try and find a bigger audience to see, how it goes or what happens, right? And over the years, I mean, specifically in lockdown, I mean, everyone understands how crazy lockdown was. I don't think it was literally, there's no person in the world that was not affected by lockdown. And March 2020, it hit us like a freaking freight train, and we all just had to adjust. And I think the number one way that everyone adjusted was connecting virtually. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I know our circle was connecting in Warzone lobbies in Call of Duty, and remember those
Late
co-op
night.
missions and all that stuff. Everything moved online. Work moved online. Meetings moved online. Church moved online. Everything was just online. And
Yeah,
one thing it did sort of open was a lot of communication channels because we realized, not being in each other's presence and doing things together, we really had to have conversations. You know,
yeah,
and I think what we realized over the last couple of years is that we really do have an opportunity, especially with the way we approach things. We have an opportunity to give a lot of insight,
mm,
practical insight on a lot of topics that are seemingly difficult and maybe, what can I say, seemingly, what's the word, contentious.
mm,
The in society today as well. I mean, people have already decided the list of topics that they want to avoid when it comes to being around the braai with family or friends, or people have those few people that they can be like completely honest with, but they know it's about it's PC now.
That's it.
Yeah, at an earlier time, PC used to stand for personal computer. Now now it stands for something else. And I don't think we need to go much into that now. But basically, with Respawn, we want to create a platform where we can give practical insight into the things that are a lot of people are struggling with, and
Mm,
specifically young people. I was explaining to Lou, I was explaining to you, and obviously a couple of the other guys, probably over the last couple of weeks. I was saying that when I look back at my life, and I think about those key moments or those key areas that I really found difficult. The biggest issue was I didn't have conversation and voices around me and mentors and leaders that took me by the hand and gave me simple steps, you
yeah,
know, on how to
yeah.
approach things. And, basic things, how to approach education, career, how to approach health, how to approach relationships, how do I deal with my money? How do I, kind of just, handle certain things in life? Because when you're going through those key moments, these kind of things seem very difficult. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And most importantly, it's like, you get to a point where you're under so much pressure that you're like, okay, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna see how it goes.
Mm,
Or I'm feeling really bad now, and I need something to make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
we think it's like, oh, if it messes up, I'll buy it later. I'll buy it back, or I'll make it up, or I'll do something. So when we were talking about Respawn, we said, you know what? There needs to be a platform available where people can engage in these conversations, and people can talk about the real issues of life and how to practically approach these things, so that they can save the time. You
That's
know what
it.
I'm saying? No one wants to waste time when it comes to decision making, when it comes to experiencing things, when it comes to looking back and be like, oh my gosh, my life's been such a disaster, I need to do something. And
Mm,
then they just end up doing the same thing,
yeah.
over and over again. And when we spoke about the concept of Respawn, obviously coming from the gaming side of things, because I mean, dude, the amount of hours we have put into Call of Duty,
Bro,
looking,
it's actually embarrassing. I don't think we should mention what those hours are.
we're not going to reveal those numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't ask for them. I'm kidding. You can ask for them. We're not going to reveal them.
Actually, you know what we'll do on our social media? We'll put on a poll. If you guys actually want to find out the amount of hours combined that we have put onto or into, should I say, specifically Call of Duty. Let's just keep it capped to the one Call of Duty. And just to give you guys a bit of insight, it went from what was it? By some friendly multiplayer lobbies, trash talking, stomping the pubs. Then went
Yeah,
to co-op madness, like from dusk till dawn, literally no sleep. And then it went into Warzone, and then became competitive.
that's the
And that was sort of when the time became a bit of an issue. But yeah, you know what? In our social medias, we're going to place a poll in the upcoming weeks. Let us know if you guys want to actually find out the disgusting amount of time we put into that. And
okay. But we agree that the result is going to be combined, right? We're not going to show
yeah, yeah, yeah.
individual numbers.
Well, combined, and you know what? If we get over a certain amount of votes, then we're gonna expose Bash in specific. We're gonna let you know what his timing in it. Because the funny thing is,
This is not going to
and he
end
knows
well.
this. He knows this. He was playing right while I was in my employed cycle. Bash was at home in his unemployed cycle slash self-employed cycle playing games. So there's a bit of what would you call it, a disparity between the numbers. So yeah, gosh, it might be shocking, it might not be. We're just gonna have to.
I think what's going to be even more shocking if that when you were in your employed cycle and I was in my self-employed cycle, if there isn't a disparity. But let's see how
That
it
is
goes. Yeah,
true.
let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. But I mean,
That
Lou, you know what I mentioned now about Respawn. I think in the gaming side of
is-
things,
yeah,
I think when lockdown hit, everyone felt like the hope of the future disappeared. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. I can agree 100% with you. It's something that which living person alive can actually relate to the experience
Mm.
of a national shutdown. I mean, if you even think back to brief history of what's happened in the past 100 years, the world has not been shut down in that manner before.
Yeah,
So
and that's
yeah,
basically this generation.
that's it. That was
This generation.
the first big trauma in a sense that's been experienced, and it was widespread, and it's not just 2020. It's followed through. There's still
Mm.
effects being felt today, what happened
100%.
then. And the funny thing about what happened with lockdown, and it's something that we have discussed before, it's that the idea of global being big changed.
Yeah.
Everyone realized because of how we
Yeah.
were forced to connect with everyone, global's actually not that big anymore. The world's
Mm.
actually a very small place, and it's a blessing in disguise in the sense to what you're saying, that this is something that then got onto our hearts to chat about and to say, but you know what? It's actually not that difficult for me to, and for yourself and for others to speak to people across the world,
Mm.
around the world, to help them. It's possible now. The platforms are there. The technology just sort of sprinted ahead to make that possible. The software sprinted ahead. The platform sprinted ahead. So the entry barrier became so much lower, and it's a blessing in a sense to be able to now take complete, how can I say, advantage of that. And I was listening to what you're saying, and 100%, the hope was dashed. I mean,
Yeah.
small things that were happening, or not even small things, major things in our lives that were happening, weekly routines, going
Mm.
to church on a Sunday, gone,
Yeah. Yeah.
and apart from what that does to a person's personal life, just that the social effect of it, gone, snuffed
Gone.
out. I always think back, thank God I was in a relationship back then,
Mm.
because how do you even begin to to navigate that one? I think a lot of the relationships are like, we made it through lockdown, well done. Or it's like, hell no, I can't spend my life with this person. And I'm just thinking, like, that's super awkward. I'm glad I didn't have to experience that, to be honest with you. But what I can say on the flip side is that all my friendships and relationships that made it through the lockdown are still everyone that I'm calling my friends today.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was actual
100%.
lasting connections that was made, and it was actual lasting friendships that were formed. And that's sort of what Respawn is about. It's to show you guys that irrespective of what's happening, there's a better way to think about it.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
lockdown happened, X, Y, and Z took place. Everyone was affected in one way or another on varying degrees of severity, if I can use that word. But there's a better way to think about it.
Mm.
And from the gaming point of view, that was just the platform that we personally utilized to connect with everyone throughout the lockdown. And it's a funny thing, actually, how many people have asked me what respawn means? And I'm just like, am I disappointed in you that you don't understand? Or am I proud to have the opportunity to explain?
Let's go with proud. Proud is the
Yeah,
proud
yeah, yeah.
is the
We
good
have
one.
to.
Let's go
We
with
have
proud.
to. Everyone that asked me, I'm not disappointed in you. I was proud that I could explain.
Okay, good. We have that on record, Lou. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm just saving myself, yeah.
But just like how we respawn, in the games, whenever you die, press F to respawn on PC. I mean, what is it on controller? Your Xbox. What is it?
Depends on the game. Usually A to reload, X to
The,
stand up again. Who knows?
yeah, whatever it is. PlayStation guys, you can also comment or whatever. But the truth is that just like in the game, when things go down and things get bad, when you're faced with a challenge that you fail, and all these kind of things, um, this podcast is to emulate the same thing in life, because if you look at depression rates, suicide rates, all these kind of things that happen during lockdown, man, people people aren't necessarily completely open or honest about how hectic lockdown affected them, you know?
Yeah,
And everyone's nursing these kind of like
100%.
limitations from that shock that took place globally, you
Yeah.
know? And I think with the earlier point of, all the hope being stripped away from people. I mean, people who are in school, the high school kids, geez, man, it was crazy. They were writing matric exams, obviously the matrics, and they were
Yeah.
heading into degrees now and going to go study. And all of a sudden, boom, lockdown. They were getting news of economy shutting down. Um, the face of the economic environment is changing. Health is different, activities are different. Everyone was planning all of these crazy things for their future, and whoop, just like that,
Yeah.
it disappeared. But you and I, part of the family that we have, at CWW, obviously, is that we were given a hope, that it doesn't matter what's happening in the world, God is the one who directs our paths. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
He's the one who leads us to opportunities. He's the one who leads us into righteousness. He's the one who shows us, how we can live out our best life. you know?
Yeah.
And just like how we press F to respawn on the keyboard or A or X or, whatever it is in a game, he's given us practical wisdom in his word to apply that it doesn't matter what the limitation is, he wants to
Yeah.
lead us to the fullness of everything. And I
That's it.
promise you, I mean, I was looking at lockdown and I was just like, okay, I at that point I was on the journey of figuring out how to be self-employed, and all those things. And it happened and I was like, what the heck? How am I even gonna do this?
Mm.
But I placed my hope on him. I placed my hope in him, and man, I'm telling you, already 3 years down the line, I'm further along than I imagined I ever would be. And I mean, similar to you, Lou. I mean, during lockdown, all of us, the future became this mirage, you know,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So, and we know how hectic it was to sort of confront the reality of these things happening. You
Mm.
know, it's something that a lot of people kind of just ran away from.
Yeah.
Certain opportunities were given that weren't necessarily kosher, if I can call that, or weren't necessarily, it was like not safe to do this kind of stuff, guys.
Mm.
To give people up, excuse me, to give people their opportunities back.
Yeah.
But the truth is that we had to navigate through that, and we had to trust that, what, God is good.
Yeah.
Jesus paid a price for us, and we had to trust him through it. And I promise you, turn by turn, step by step, every mountain, every valley, where it was dark, whether it was light, whatever it was, whatever metaphor you want to use, man, he was faithful. He led us through. He
Yeah.
led us
Amen.
through every single one. And
That's definitely the truth.
yeah, 100%. And I suppose that if we can sum up Respawn, is that we want to tell people, right, that it doesn't matter if you've lost hope. It doesn't matter if you've messed it up so bad. It doesn't matter where you are or how bad it looks, right?
Mm.
We're saying that God has a chance for you. He's
That's it.
already mapped it out. He's actually got multiple, right? But the thing is this is that if we would just stop, open up our hearts and trust in him, connect with him, allow him to give into our lives, right? I
Yeah.
promise you that respawn button that we see on the screen, that's gonna be reality in life. It's like, what, God, you're making another chance for me here. This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and what's so cool about everything that you're saying, you mentioned our family at CWW, and obviously we'll get into more of what we're referring to and who we're talking about with that. And what I joined the family, what about a year and a half, 2 years before lockdown actually took full effect, because that was in
Probably,
2018,
yeah.
right? And it's funny because with the lockdown, that's when I was still in my self-employed or no, my employed cycle. Now we got cycles, yeah. And I was actually busy doing real estate, and I remember it was March 20th or so, around about there. Boom, our president, yeah, in South Africa, he closes the borders, he shuts us down, everyone's in lockdown. I can't do my job anymore. Everyone, like, we all on like on a group on like WhatsApp and stuff, and it's like, guys, what the hell? We can't sell houses anymore. We literally cannot leave our house and go into someone else's house, let alone with strangers,
Yep.
right? And the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is that during lockdown, it was a weird position I found myself in, but a truly unique one, in the sense that I knew what I knew. I had what I had, right? So I've got my side of, yeah, my experience, what's going on my side, what's happening with my family, my friends, my close circle. But then as lockdown went by and we found ways to, maneuver around different degrees of, what would you call it, rules and lockdown procedures, and could start going back to work, I got a very particular insight into how this was affecting other people. And being in real estate, I don't get to choose that I only work with doctors, or that I only work with school teachers, or that I only work with whoever. It's literally a run of the mill. Everyone owns houses. So one day I'd be in a very ordinary family who's loving lockdown, like loving it. It's a joy for them. They get to chill. They've been working from home for the past 10 years. They're fully equipped without even realizing it. To the next appointment, walking in there, and man, it is heavy. You walk into this house, people are grieving,
Mm.
whether because someone has passed away from what the lockdown was for, or whether it's that people are in hospital from before the lockdown and they just haven't been able to see them. And it was a very sobering experience to be able to see this is the decision that everyone gets to make. irrespective of how they're getting affected by this massive event that's now taken place,
Yeah.
irrespective of whether they were affected negatively or positively, they all got to make a choice, basically. And I saw that in the families that I was busy meeting with. I
Mm.
could see which families made the choice to essentially respawn, if we can call it that, and
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
families just let this take away their hope. And nothing against those guys, because hell, what an experience to go through. You
Mm.
know, some of them, it was a really, really tragic experience, but the decision is still there. And, with Respawn, the reason that, I personally felt the urgency and the need for this sort of podcast and platform to be created is, as you're saying, Bash, to so that people understand that the hope is never truly gone.
Mm.
And that is because we have got God at the center of our lives if we choose to put him there.
Yeah.
He's fully available. He's fully willing. He wants to lead us from the inside out. So, what's happening outside of us in the external world does not need to affect the way that we are approaching things, the way that we are choosing to live life, and how we are choosing to feel about things.
Mm.
That's a massive thing, Bosh. How did lockdown make people feel? Despondent,
100%. Yeah.
hopeless. They were feeling as though, like you're saying, all hope is gone.
Mm.
Especially the guys that were in school, for example, the younger generation. I mean, hell, what do you now go and study thinking that everything for the next 10 years is going to be done from home and that AI and robots is going to replace your normal office job? I mean, it's just that, and it's just one small little component of what could be affected.
Yeah.
And now you see that returning back to the office is a normal thing. People are working as they were. So this massive looming change that was being, painted by the authorities is already looking a lot different 3 years later.
Mm.
But the decision to stay hopeful, to stay positive, and to make a source greater than yourself your source of inspiration and your source of being, in a sense, that still remains everyone's choice.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Respawn podcast is here to tell people what we believe that truth is and to show them and actually give them real life examples of what has happened in your journey, my journey, the journey of the people we know, to say that, hey guys, this is irrefutable proof right
Mm.
here
Mm.
that God is good, God is alive,
100%.
and God is here to help. And
100%.
with the Respawn, guys, you can choose. The Respawn, it's about a choice. It's about a better way. You can choose to wake up every day and let the circumstances affect you, or take control of what's happening. Take control of what you can control. And that is your thoughts, your feelings, your mind, your opinion, and run with it in a way that will lead to life and not to death.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, Lou, on that point, it's so important to note this, that on that point of taking control, thoughts, feelings, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And at this point, whoever's watching, you guys might feel like, oh, geez, okay, another motivational podcast, or another podcast about God, all that stuff. Listen, let me tell you, I will categorically state right now that 99.73% of all of those podcasts I hate with every part of me.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes two of us. I stand in agreement. Here we are.
No, 100%. And I'll tell you why is because, okay, look, we're starting our own platform, so we can tune, let's tune,
That's it.
And for those of you who don't know what tune means, we're from South Africa, Johannesburg. So tune means we're just going to speak. Okay. We're going to tell it. Right. That's
We're
what
going to
tune
call
means.
people out. We're going to call them out. We're going to call it out. It's nothing personal. It is what it is.
No, I mean, we'll call them out. We'll call each other out. We'll call ourselves out, whatever it is. Right. But the truth is, I hate almost every single one of those podcasts because they talk about impractical, freaking useless things. They prey on people's emotions. They try and short circuit the way they live their lives. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And it's either one of two things. Number one is that they doing it for the content, to manipulate people or to get the views or whatever it is. But they sacrifice, okay, if that's the right word, or they forfeit, okay, people's understanding of God and who He is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now that listen, if you're getting put off that, oh, these guys are gonna talk about God, I guarantee you now, stick with us long enough, you're gonna get a perspective of God that you're not hearing out there. All right.
100%.
Lou is testament to that. I mean, he would tell you
Yeah.
the 5 years he's been with us, he can honestly say that for the first time in his life, he's like, wow, not only do I understand who God is, but man, I am practically walking out my life with Him in the most freedom that you've ever experienced in your life.
Yeah.
in the most safety, in the most peace, in the most contentment, fulfillment, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And with that, everything that's out there, what to control, even the motivational speakers, man, they're good. They've got the best camera angles, they've got the best sounding equipment, they've got the catchiest lines. They're giving you 5 steps to do this, 6 steps to do that, morning routines that start at 2:30. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, 2:30. By the time I finish the last lobby, it's already 2 o'clock.
Like we aren't heading into our 2 hours of meditation around like right now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And unfortunately, with the digital space expanding like that, everyone now has an opinion, rightfully so. Freedom of speech, go for it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we definitely identified a need for something that is real to help people. I watch a lot of sort of YouTube podcasts, interviews, all that kind of stuff. I think with sort of the role I have, in our community, which we'll get into over the episodes, I kind of have to be on top of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And you hear people's perspective on things, and you hear all of that. And the thing that I always identify is that everyone always has great aspirations or motives, or there's like they have these bursts of inspiration and hope and all these things, but unfortunately the perspective they've been given, they're crippled in terms of getting it out there. They're
Yeah.
crippled in terms of seeing it real in their lives. You know what I'm saying? They're given willpower. They're given willpower, and the truth is, after lockdown stripped out a lot of people's willpower. Like the point you made, you see those who respawned and you see
Yeah.
those who didn't. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And the truth is, the key to this, and that we want all respawn viewers and listeners to know about, is that the key to this is receiving God's grace to get this done.
Good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Receiving God's grace to get this done, because the truth is, we all have to do it.
Yeah.
We don't get the luxury of running away from life. You with me? I don't get the luxury of running away from the fact that, okay, I need to work. I have to pay bills. If I don't earn money, I don't eat. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And then
Yeah.
I have to deal with the thoughts and emotions. It's just like, but the market's crashing and it's not my fault. Where do I find myself? What do I do? This is not fair. And the truth is, it isn't, because the last 3 years have been impacted by decisions upon decisions upon decisions by people we don't even know personally. But flip, here we
Bro,
are.
I wish I knew them. I'm honestly telling you right now, I wish I knew them. But I don't
But
know
look,
where they
look,
are, man.
look. We won't go down that hole. Okay, we won't go down that hole, because that's what
You
we
see the
respawn.
blood
Yeah,
pressure's rising
yeah,
almost
exactly.
immediately.
Let me check it. Let me check it. Sort of thing. But the truth is that it isn't fair. You know. But the simple thing of it not being fair, right, is not going to get us out of it. It's not
Yeah,
going to help us.
100%.
It's not going to help us beat it. Are you with me? And here's the
That's it.
truth that people need to understand, is that, God created every single one of us to be creators and builders and givers. Are you with me? But unfortunately, with the way things have gone, globally over the last couple of years, they've forced us into being victims.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
have more excuses for things not happening than success stories.
It's true.
Are you with me?
True.
And
Yeah.
and the hope that you and I are talking about tonight is that, guys, my list of excuses could have been long. My
That's
list
it.
of things not being done could have been long, but here I sit, and by the grace of God freely given to me, right,
Yeah.
through the Holy Spirit, I can stand here today and say, listen, I've got more success stories than regrets through excuses.
That's it. And Bosh, that's such a beautiful thing that you're saying, that we've got more success stories and excuses, and that's even barring the lockdown that happened a couple of years back. That is actually applying to any person that is listening to this podcast and watching our video. Is to say that, guys, whether you had a great time or a bad time throughout the lockdown, you've probably got a list of excuses from all the years that you've been around. And those can either be excuses for your decisions each day to not go out there and do what needs to be done to help people, to live beyond yourself, to live for others. Like Bosch said, to become a giver and not a taker. And to be honest with you, that is what Respawn is going to be doing. I think we should give the disclaimer right now, Bosch. As much as this platform is going to be here to help people, it's also going to hold you personally accountable to an attitude and to a mindset and to a lifestyle that if you say that you want to be doing this, then do it. Uh,
Yeah,
Do it. It
absolutely.
is what it is. It's great talking about things, and that's something that I always got in the real estate field is that I'd always hear about guys and the glory days. Glory days. Oh my gosh,
Oh, the
what a
glory
topic.
days.
The glory days. And I'm here to tell you that as a child of God, and this extends to every single person that agrees with me and that makes the decision to agree with me, is that as a child of God, your better days are ahead of you, irrespective of anything that you have done in the past, irrespective of any Tom, Dick, and Harry that we don't know that's busy making decisions for us that we don't agree with. Our better days are ahead of us, plain and simple. But
That's it.
it's a choice to see it that way. It's a choice to make the small daily actions that
Mm,
lead to that. And, like Bash, like you were saying, with your role in our community, it's your job to be on top of things. As a leader of people, it's your job to be on top of a lot of topics. But in all honesty, that's an accountability that all of us are, or responsibility, should I say, that all of us
100%.
should be taking seriously. I
Exactly.
can't rely on my leaders to be the ones that lead me out of danger. I need to have a full understanding to a certain degree myself on how to do that. And you
Mm,
know what? The respawn with the next couple of weeks and the next couple of episodes, we're going to, I believe, lean in more towards that and giving the practical steps on guys. This is how we should be approaching X, Y, and Z.
yeah.
If this is what's happening in your life right now, yeah, sure. Let us hear how you're thinking about it.
Mm,
But this is a way that you could be approaching it. This is a way that you could be handling it in your heart.
mm.
Because, guys, once you start living in your mind, it's hard to get out of there. But you don't have to stay there. And that's the beautiful thing. That is the beautiful freedom that we have found in Christ,
That's
is
it.
that we don't have to look to ourselves to sort this out. And, it actually just popped back in my mind now what you're saying about all the platforms out there.
Mm,
The guys that talk about God and the ones that really paints a shocking picture of him.
mm.
You know, 2 points to make there that if we agreed with those guys, we wouldn't be making this
Yeah,
podcast right now.
exactly.
Like guys, it's
Exactly.
it's past midnight, yeah, where we are in South Africa. We would not be taking the time out if we agreed with them.
Mm.
Number two, if they were working, we would not be seeing, particularly our youth, I would say, Bosh, in the position that they're in.
Yeah.
The decisions that I get seen being made by guys younger than me and girls younger than me, it's absolutely shocking.
Mm.
It's a weird concept and a weird day and age to be living in, and not even them. Heck, even the guys older than me, to see the decisions that get made for the reasons that they get made. Ain't no podcasts out there helping them right now.
Yeah.
But you know what, respawn. I do believe it's going to be different. It is going to be different because this is going to be a podcast and a platform essentially that's not going to lead people to themselves.
Yeah.
If
That's
you
the
could
key.
help yourself, you would have done it. It is what it is, guys. That is the absolute truth. So I'm looking forward to what the next few weeks are going to be holding, Bosh, because I think people are going to perhaps see that coming to God and realizing His goodness for you, it isn't the wishy washy nonsense that's been made mainstream.
Yeah.
It isn't the religious, dutiful, borderline, how can I say, backbreaking, you know,
Emotional.
yeah, emotional. Use whatever word you want. There's a lot of descriptive words that we could use, but
Mm.
it's not what people think it is.
Yeah.
And as one of the people that have, like you said, has gone through this process myself over the past couple of years, guys, give God a chance.
Mm.
Forget what people have told you about him. Forget what people have painted him to be. Go find out for yourself. Stick with us for the next couple of weeks. Let us take you on a journey here. Choose to be respawned.
Yeah. 100%. Well said, brother. Well said. So, I mean, um, exactly with what you were saying about the mindset, and understanding the leadership, because every single one of us, we need to accept that. Listen, we experience the environments we create.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And God has hardwired us to create peaceful, successful environments.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have been programmed and all that stuff to go in a different direction and to do, kind of different things. And the number one thing that everyone always uh, um, sort of registers when you mention God is that they think about what they must forfeit. You with me?
Literally, you
It's
see it
like,
as a loss.
dude,
Oh
it's
gosh,
true.
I can't do this anymore. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I can't do
Dude,
that.
and it's so funny because Jesus himself said, "Listen, I've come to give. I've come to give.
Mm,
You with me? I haven't come to take. I've come to give." So look, over the next couple of weeks, maybe we'll see how it is. We're not going to be doing, don't worry, it's not going to be like crazy structured teachings and studies. No, it's nothing like that. We're sitting down and we're having conversations. We want to give you guys life giving, practical perceptions, practical steps,
Yeah.
how you can make seemingly big decisions in your life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, basic things, health, education, like I was mentioning before, finances, money, business, relationships, choosing partners, how to be someone who can enjoy healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Someone who can create that. How to help in your community, how you can lead people to help themselves. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? How to lead people to walk with God, And obviously, everyone needs to also understand that we will be sharing all of this stuff from our personal lives.
Yeah.
So even if you are a viewer who has much more mileage than we have in life, please put your comments in the comments section. Share the video. I mean, if there's any questions you guys have or any topics that you would want us to discuss, please, we'd love it because ultimately, as much as like I said, we want to just keep yapping our jaws. we do also want to discuss the things uh, um, that people are wanting to hear about. You
That's
know
it.
what I'm saying?
100%.
And we're going to be featuring different types of content. Obviously, we're going to do things about reviews. We're going to do things what we love, things we don't love so much. We're going to be talking about music, talking about games, talking about sports. We're going to be having a bit of a variety thing. But the meat of Respawn is that we want to put the hope back in the hearts of people. We
Yeah.
want to put the hope back, and the hope's not going to come from, following a CEO tech billionaire's morning routine. The hope's not going to come from all of that. I'm not saying there's no benefit in any of that stuff, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that there are practical steps tailored for who you are, for the way you've been designed. Are you
That's it.
with me? And that's what people need. That's what they're looking for because I promise you, dude. Like, what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen that guy's morning routine?
What did I call him? Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg, Wahlberg. Oh, for those of you who don't know, that look at that.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
Oh
It's the
snap!
merch! It's the merch!
It's the Respawn merch, baby. So listen, obviously the following gets big enough, we're gonna obviously start selling those things. So sooner you guys subscribe, like, and share, we are going to the sooner you can
That's
get the
it.
merch. 100%. The merch is it is.
It's just
But
looking good.
back to Mark Wahlberg, right? I mean, he sleeps at 7:30, wakes up at 2:30, and man, the guy's day is,
Scheduled.
it's like
He
stacked in everything.
blocked his time, bro.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that Mark Wahlberg's probably almost 50, I think, or just over, something like that.
Yeah.
The guy's had a lot of time. He's put in a lot of work. He's freaking really, really, really gone the miles. You know what I'm saying? And he's reached to a point of something that works for him.
That's it.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
gone and figured it out.
That's the thing, and I think also what we want to bring across big time in Respawn is the
Yeah.
appreciation of the process. You know what
Oof.
I'm saying? That's
That's
the
a big
thing.
one.
You
That's a
know,
big one.
I speak to so many people, young and old, younger than me, older than me, whatever. And like I was mentioning, everyone's got plans, everyone's got all these things, but
Yeah.
no practical process on how we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's got to do with that lack of understanding of those practical mechanics because
Yeah.
we're designed to dream, we're designed to hope, we're designed to have vision. Like I said, God made us to be creators and givers and leaders, builders. Are you with me?
Yeah.
But when those hopes and dreams come and all that stuff and they're not met with the practical power of his grace, and his wisdom, what happens is we just get disappointed after again and again and again. Disappointment, disappointment, disappointment. And eventually we don't want anything. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is this. The problem is that the world that we are in right now, the amount of content we have out there, the amount of facades that are out there based on the content we're given, right? What happens is people feel insecure and uncomfortable being in the process.
That's it.
Are you with
Yeah.
me? But the
That's
truth is, it's
100%
like,
true.
but wait, I'm heading somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone who isn't in the process isn't going anywhere.
That's it.
Are you with me? But someone who is in the process and they are going through and they're putting in that work, they are getting somewhere. You know what I'm
That's it.
saying? And
Yeah.
sometimes you know what you have to do. Sometimes you don't. But it doesn't matter whether you do or you don't. God is there with you and he wants to lead you. Are you with me, Lou? Like he
Yeah,
wants to make
100%.
sure, and it's promised. It's even promised in his word that he wants to make sure that he helps you step by step to get there.
Yeah.
You know? But the key first is okay, we need to first find out who he is. We need to find out who we are because of him and now how we're supposed to live. You know what I'm
That's it.
saying? And and
100%.
and the interesting thing, let's take that basic statement, or how we're supposed to live. You know, people think about how we're supposed to live in the context of right and wrong.
Mm.
Now, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying that's like the most basic understanding that you
Yeah.
could possibly have of that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? How we're supposed to live, right and wrong. No, listen, bud. If life was just about right and wrong, it's not life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How we're supposed to live has got to do with fulfilling, right? It's got to do with contentment. It's got to do with fulfillment of how we're designed.
Oof.
You with me? It's about, you know, how we're supposed to live is about realizing the potential.
That's it.
Do you understand
That
what I'm
is
saying? It's about
potential.
realizing the
That's it.
potential. That's what living is about. You know, so right and wrong. Like I said, that's good. But it's the most basic understanding.
That's it.
We want to be here where, my screen's really high. There. You know, we want to be at the top of the screen, you know, where we are realizing our full potential. Because you know what? Only through God's amazing, undeserved, unmerited grace, right?
Yeah.
Do we get to realize that potential for what? For the benefit of those around us.
Mm.
You see, the people that are making the waves now, they're telling everyone, live for yourself, live for
Yeah.
yourself, live for yourself. And people are like, what about me? So the message makes sense. But the
Mm.
hurt that's caused along the way, you know, because of that way of living, what happens when you get to where you want to get to? Or even if you don't
Yeah.
get there, it's just heartache, it's disappointment. But
Yeah.
God says he'll get us there and we'll be more for it.
That's it.
You with me? We'll be more for it, man. I'm telling. I mean, Lou, you've known me long enough. You know the amount of things I'm involved in. You sometimes are like,
Man, it's absolutely crazy. It's a thing of, am I jealous of this right now, or am I actually not envious at all? Because it's when it rains, it pours, man.
yes, it is. You know, but the truth is, you know, whether those things are there or whether those things aren't there,
Yeah,
I don't carry a different value for myself.
100%. They've
I
never
don't.
once defined you. That's the
You
beautiful thing
understand?
about it. Yeah.
But there's no way we can achieve that in life without God.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand?
To your point of what you're busy saying about God, it's just like you mentioned, figure out who He is, who we are. And in the grand scheme of things, it's the process is a beautiful thing. But in today's day and age, it's everyone wants to skip it.
Mm.
Now, whether that's because, and this can be a discussion and a debate to be had, whether that's because of instant gratification or lack of character in today's society,
Okay.
who
Fear.
knows? Fear, there's a lot. Yeah, maybe they think the process is going to bring pain.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got the wrong association with it. Maybe it's going to take too long. And I think, irrespective of what a debate like that comes down to, I think the solution will be the same. It's
Mm.
that
Mm.
trusting God at the end of it is what brings you through the process. That is the correct perspective to have. I mean, just take it back to something natural. You know, how are you ever going to get a tree if you don't plant the seed?
Yeah, of course. I
For
mean,
for our listeners out there that think God is hogwash, listen, guys, tell us how it's done. If you guys want to eat, you need to go start the farm. You need to plant your seeds. It needs to grow. You need to harvest whatever's been grown, and
yeah.
then you can enjoy the fruit.
Look,
And
even the shelves at the supermarket didn't magically get packed.
yeah,
You
100%,
know, the lettuce didn't
100%.
appear on the shelf.
And the hypocritical thing, or maybe not hypocritical, but the funny thing is, let's take the naive dream of, I need to get rich quick. I'm going to
Yeah.
be a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
Now, once you're a millionaire, once you've made it, your context of making it being, now you can afford the house, you can afford the cars, you can afford X, Y, and Z. That house did not just appear. There's a process.
Hmm.
I mean, Lamborghini. How many days does it take to manufacture one? I don't know, but I'm sure it's pretty long.
Dude,
I think it's
my Lamborghini is still on back order, bro. I don't know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I did not order a Lamborghini. I was just putting out there. I did not order a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I was going to get upset because it should be a Porsche first. But anyways, moving on.
Porsche first. I like that.
It's just, where's the appreciation for the process?
Mm.
And it's just whether maybe it's just this generation that's missed that gap of saying, guys, there's a process here that we're just not interested anymore. Just give us what we want at the end.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work like that. And it is, I would say it's come to the point where that's something to be learned.
Yeah.
It's something to be learned, to be grasped. And coming to know God and the way that He set, like you said, processes up, way that He set things up in our own heart, the way that you said that we hotwired to literally build environments, to literally be givers and not takers, to literally be pioneers and envision things for those around us. That's a process. And it's a beautiful process to be learned.
100%.
And it starts with the decision to wanting to learn it. And when it comes to potential, man, if you guys embrace the process, you'll embrace your potential.
That's
And
it.
it's also why I've got a pet peeve, Bosh, with, for example, the 5 steps of CEOs, the 5 steps of this. My guy, how's their 5 steps going to unlock my potential? Like, let's be real. We're different. We're uniquely created. Yeah, sure, maybe it'll teach me some good principles and, some good habits and this and that. But it ain't going to unlock nothing in me.
Yeah.
Not to the fullest degree.
Yeah.
How can it? It's not built for me,
100%.
But the word of God that teaches me who I am, who He is, now maybe that's something I should consider.
That's the thing.
And maybe that's the question that everyone should be having. Maybe this is something I should consider. Because at the end of it, why would you not want to be, as the world puts it, the best version of yourself?
Of course.
Uh,
What other purpose are you here for?
And like you were saying earlier, people associate a sense of loss with coming to know God. But if there is the 1% chance that coming to know God will give you your best life that you've got while you're here on earth, is it not worth exploring? Is it not worth just giving it a try and just seeing, taste and see if He is good?
Yeah, going on the process,
The process, 100%. If anyone from Optic is listening to this, we are not copying your catchphrase. This ain't the process that Optic does. For anyone who knows, that is the esports team to support. But
here come all the comments about how washed Optic is.
Green wall.
Green wall.
But, it's just, guys, we have to take the time out to make these decisions for ourselves, to see through the process and see what comes out at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the beginning step. It really is.
That's it. And Lou, what you said about the 5 steps, I love it that you brought in both aspects, because there is a lot of extremism in the world today, like the proverbial throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And what you said there is that, listen, if you get the 5 steps of the most successful CEOs, that's going to teach you a lot of principles. It's going to teach you a lot of good stuff. Listen, those guys are there. They've mastered these skills, sort of thing.
100%.
But the thing that's missing, right, is the value that I need to unlock that in myself.
Yeah.
I need something to give me that value so I can unlock it.
That's it.
And here at Respawn, we're saying that's not hard to get. We're saying that's not out of your reach. We're saying that has been freely given to you by God.
That's
you with me? Because the thing is, why don't people, like you say, if they don't want to realize their full potential, what's their reason? They don't believe they're worth it. That's it.
That is juicy, mate.
Yeah. So not only like, look, in gaming, when you respawn, you either respawn the same or worse. If you're playing an RPG and you die, you have to you respawn back in town, and then you got to like run very carefully to go and find your armor, your loot box that was dropped. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how you respawn in an RPG, right? But man, when you respawn in Christ, you respawn whole, complete, content, fulfilled, holy, perfect, loved, valued.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And that is what God is calling us to live from. That's the space that He's calling us to live from. So that whenever we're met with any challenge, whenever we're met with any opportunity, in our hearts, we know, okay, flip, I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be stopped by this, and I'm not going to miss out on that. I can do this, Yeah. And it's in that process that His grace starts working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we want to do that on Respawn. We want to show people that, guys, you don't have to have an extreme on anything. You know what I'm saying? Because all our extremes come from fear.
Yeah, it's true.
Fear that we're not going to make it, or that we're going to fear that we're not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
But the truth is that when we choose, like you say, you know, that 1% chance, if we just say, you know what, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
When we go in there, we start seeing, wow,
Mm,
there is balance here. There is, geez, it's like these two things can exist at the same time, but I'm going through, you
mm.
know, I'm handling it. It's fine, you know, sort of thing. And I can't believe it's been almost an hour.
Yeah.
Um, listen, viewers, I did tell you we like to
We
yap
disclaimed.
our
We did disclaim.
jaws. Yeah, we did. We did. We put it in there. We're gonna put it on the as a strapping. We like to yap our jaws. You know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think Lou, you know, the next couple of episodes we should take some time and talk about that process. You know,
That's it.
talk about that process and just explain to people. Listen, this is how it practically works out. And you know, the truth is, you need to start winning in small things first.
That's
You
it.
know.
And just take it back to even, if you are a church goer, a lot of the people out there, they're looking for this massive testimony. It's like,
Mm,
guys, you live to the day by day testimony.
that's
Stop
it.
looking for the big one on the mountain, you
Yeah,
know, day to
exactly.
day, the climb, the process that gets you to the top. That is your testimony. And like you said, for the next couple of weeks, break down what the perception of this ambiguous process is.
Mm,
Let the people
mm,
understand this is what it is. It's not something that's just out there that's going to cause you pain. It's
exactly.
something that's going to build you up. It's going to it's going to refine one hell of a lot of things. But yeah, definitely the next couple of weeks is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to actually chat and engage with all the listeners and hear what it is that they have to say and what their thoughts and opinions are. Because as you said, this is a discussion.
Mm,
You know, we are
100%.
just two guys that have come together and we've said, you know what, we have tasted and we have seen, and we know that he is good. And we encourage you to come and listen to us and to come and just give it the 1% chance to see that this is something that could benefit you greatly. And not just yourself. Forget about yourself for 2 seconds. It's going to benefit those around you as well.
100%. 100%. So, with that being said, whether you are big, whether you're small, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're near, whether you're far, right? From why you why you
Sounds like a
laughing?
fairy tale, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Whether
I
you're
was
big or whether you're small.
whether you're near, whether you're far, whether you're young, whether you're old. It was like a one of those bedtime stories, you know, like
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because also, you know, we need to tell the people that because of South Africa's load shedding schedule, we're recording at freaking midnight.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's lots of lights all around and everything, but I promise you,
It's a facade. But
yeah,
you know what? Fake it till you make it. It's part of the process.
yeah. When we have like you know, solar run studios and you know all this kind of stuff, then yeah. At the moment, we're literally just using our gaming setups, so that's just how it is. But listen, from myself, Bash, and from Lou, we want to let you guys know that it's going to be a cool journey. Stick with us. Please share it if it's useful to you, or if even if you know that it's going to be useful to someone else. Please share it. Allow them to take some time and just think, just open up that mind and question some things. You know,
Yeah,
because
that's it.
when we question, when we search, man, we always find answers, we grow, and hopefully always for the better. When it's for the worse, we just pull back a bit, you know, like yeah, yeah, let's just bring it back, you know. But we're gonna be here on a journey. It's by no means a short journey, you know,
Yeah.
but we wanna take it with you. We're gonna have some good links in the comments, sorry, in the description of the video. Have some good links. Please make sure you're following us on all our socials. We got a link for our lovely music producer, Electric Ethan or Shadow Ethan. Is it Electric or Shadow?
Shadow.
Shadow. And obviously to our CWW family, the link's also going to be there. So please follow, check us out. It's going to be good. So I think from my side, until our next episode, it is grace and peace. We'll see you guys soon. Lou, from your side.
Yeah, from my side, guys, welcome to Respawn.